Tech Studio presents EdTalks, hot news and issues. EdTalks, and here is your host, radio and TV anchor, Edwin Eusebio.
Yan, tayo'y nasa pandemya at kasabay ng magdadalawang taon na yan, ay 2 years na rin yung ating mga mag-aaral na gumagamit po ng ibang mode of learning tulad ho ng online class. Marami na rin tayong narinig na iba't ibang kwento ng mga estudyante kaugnay sa kanilang karanasan sa online class. At ilan sa mga problema po, definitely, ay yung gadget at internet connection. Pero ngayon, totoo naman ho tayo, syempre pa, doon sa other side. Yan po yung mga guro o teachers kung saan yung kanilang struggle naman ang ating pag-uusapan sa pagtuturo online. Maging yung pag-aaral sa paggamit ng technology at para rito kukumustahin natin ang ating mga teachers. Kaya mamaya mga kaibigan, makakausap po natin si Dr. Romeo M. Daligdig, ang Public Relation Officer ng Philippine Association for Teachers and Educators. Yan po yung FAFTE. Para talakayin po natin yung mga naging karanasan ng ating mga teachers sa bagong mode of learning na nagsimula nitong pandemic. Pero bago yan mga kaibigan, narito muna ang inyong inaantabayanan, ang aking co-host, si Ms. Karen Alvarez sa kanya po namang kuwaltak sa kwentuhan bilang segment dito po naman sa EdTalks. Karen.
Thank you so much, Kuya Ed. And you are still watching EdTalks. Ito pa rin po ang kwarta sa kwentuhan with me, Ate Karen. Sabi nga ni Kuya Ed, thank God it's Friday at hindi naman po makakompleto ang linggong ito kung hindi tayo makakapagpabigay ng papremyo dito sa kwarta sa kwentuhan. Hulaan lamang po ang ating mystery word for today para makapag-uwi kayo para kayo ang maging lucky winner natin ngayong araw na ito. Siyempre, sa pamamagitan ng pag-subscribe niyo po sa ating Facebook channel, KSK Kalusugan, Siyensya at Kaalaman TV channel. I-turn ang notification on, i-like at i-share ang video na ito para po magkaroon ng chance ang manalo ng 1,000 pesos handog pa rin po walang iba ng KSK TV at ng Orthro Pro. At syempre, hulaan niyo po ang mystery word sa pamamagitan ng mga clues na ito. Huwag pong bibitiw sa panonood ng EdTalks dahil sa kabuuan po ng ating programa ay magpa-flash kami ng random letters sa inyong screen. Na kapag iyon ay nabuo ninyo, iyon ang ating mystery word for today. Siyempre may kaugnayan po iyan sa kakapanayamin ni Kuya Ed mamaya sa kanilang interview. At siyempre kapag nalaman niyo po ang tamang sagot, i-text yan agad-agad sa 0931-123-8888. Ulitin ko po, 0931-123-8888. Siyempre huwag pong kakalimutan na ilagay ang inyong pangalan, ang inyong address, at syempre ang inyong kasagutan. Mamaya, magkikita-kita pa tayo para i-reveal ang mystery word at syempre ang ating lucky winner for today. Kaya ngayon muna, back to you, Kuya Ed.
Salamat, Karen! At mamaya ho, ang tabayanan ninyo. Si Karen ay mamimigay naman ng papremyo. At kami ho nga pala, bago ang lahat ay nagpapasalamat. We're appreciating yung mga taong nakikilahok sa atin. Dati kasi nagsimula kami ni Karen dito lang sa area ng Bulacan. Then ngayon, as far as Visayas, ay may mga nagte-text na kay Karen. Ano? At hindi naman yan dahil doon sa papremyong 1,000, gaano ba naman yun? Kundi yung inyong pong partisipasyon ang aming na-appreciate at yung inyong pagla-like and share sa ating program. Well, mga kaibigan, siguradong excited na ho ang ating mga estudyante. Ano? Dahil tapos na magbabakasyon na, tapos na eskwela sa online, lalo't tag-init, marami dyan gusto na magtampisaw, mag-swimming, mapa-resort o mapa-pool o sa beach. Pero ang unang itatanong sa inyo, vaccinated na ba kayo? Siyempre sa new normal, dapat yan ang pinaka-process natin, yung vaccination card natin. Pero siyempre, ito ay kaunting pahinga na rin sa ating mga magigiting namang teachers. Kahit paalam naman natin na kahit walang pasok, sila ho'y tuloy-tuloy na nagtatrabaho. At narito po ang ating magiging panauhin ngayon at makakakwentuhan natin. Si Dr. Romeo Daligdig na makakasama natin ngayong hapon. Tatalakayin po natin yung mga naging struggles at iba't ibang karanasan ng ating mga teachers sa panahon ng online class. At magandang hapon po, Doc Daligdig, sir. Welcome sa EdTalks. Salamat po sa pagpapaunlak sa aming imbitasyon, sir.
Good afternoon, Sir Edwin
Apo.
and Miss Carmen.
Mabuti
Thank you
naman po.
for the
At kayo din,
opportunity.
kamusta, sir?
Okay lang po. Tawa ng Diyos.
Sir, magdadalawang taon na po itong ating online class. Kumusta naman po yung naging experience ng ating mga teachers bilang teacher leader? Siyempre, marami kayong mga nakakakwento kasama ninyo. Gaano po ba yung naging hirap sa pagsisimula at pag-a-adjust ng ating po naman mga kasama?
Good afternoon again, Sir Edwin. At the start, the teachers were struggling on how to deliver quality, accessible, relevant, and liberating education due to the threat of COVID-19, coupled with fears, uncertainty, and worries from all walks of life, especially on the parents.
Apo.
Because this is the first time nobody was so prepared and ready to face the challenges that COVID-19 brought to the world and even to the education sector. It's very much challenging because we have to really execute life-defining actions and decisions, not to make compromise about life and safety of the loved ones, relative friends, especially our learners and teachers in the field, just like me. We are also supervising our teachers in the field. And it's very, very much challenging, I should say. Sir Edwin.
Opo. So,
And then-
ano po yung naging usual problems na na-encounter ninyo sa pagtuturo? Paano nyo na-overcome yung mga ganyang problema, sir?
At the onset of COVID, the problem was really on the resources. It's
I see.
the first time to experience this pandemic. Everyone was not ready, as I said. And I believe teachers were not also ready. That's why we were struggling on what to prepare, especially that the Department of Education, through our Honorable Secretary, pronounced that education must continue in any crisis that we are facing. So it's on the resources, actually, Sir Edwin, the main problem.
I see. So, as of this moment, what do you think? Fully adjusted na po ba yung lahat ng ating online class? Or marami pa rin nagiging changes so far and adjustment?
Well, because the first year of the COVID experience was an experiment where we have to really explore other forms of learning modalities, because we have four big four learning delivery modalities. First is face-to-face, which COVID also allowed us to have a pause with the face-to-face and led us to explore the other three, in which one of those is the distance learning,
I see.
wherein online learning is part of the distance learning. We have modular, and we have also home-based learning, and we have blended learning, and we have also RBI, radio-based instruction, and also TV-based instruction. So all these platforms were explored during the time of the first hit of COVID, and our learners in the Department of Education chose to have the modular because it is less expense compared to online. Because online, they have that provision of load or internet connectivity.
Yeah.
But there are really who prefer to have online because they believe they have enough resources to do so.
I see. So, what are the difference? Ano po yung ilang naging malaking pagkakaiba ng mode of learning kumpara dun sa previous, dati? Bukod po dyan sa physical interactions. I'm sure maraming activity ang hindi nagagawa ngayon. Ano pong naging effect nito para sa ating mga estudyante, sir?
Because when you are teaching and you want to make teaching effective, students should be within your reach. So that you will really see and you can really radiate the enthusiasm, and you can also ensure that students are safe students are interested to listen to you, to pay attention to every detail of what you are talking about inside the classroom. It's very different because the students are really far from you.
Yeah.
The learners are not within your reach. So in case you need to provide some backup, you can deliver right away.
Yeah.
So it's more of the proximity, because for modular, students are far from you. If it is online, you can just see your students in the platform. Wherein, if you need to provide some backups in terms of technical assistance, in terms of further discussion and further clarification on some gray areas about the topic, you cannot do that because you are very far from each other.
Yeah.
And you can just provide touching moments where you can also make them engage
Yes.
in the actual scenario of the learning, teaching process.
Ayun. Importante rin talaga yung sabi nga natin physical connections o yung physical interactions. Well, sir, nung first year ng pandemic, batay ho sa datos na nakalap namin, mas kaunti ang nagpa-enroll at this year, during this year, mas dumami po ba yung mga nag-enroll o kahit paano ay parang nasa new normal na tayo bilang bahagi ng ating po namang pre-pandemic scenario?
Yes, in our division, last school year 2020-2021, we had 216,972 learners. And school year 21-2022, we have gathered 223,231 learners.
Yes.
There is really an increase of the enrollment.
I see. Well, may nakarating po sa aming info na nagkaroon ng joint memorandum agreement ang DepEd with the Department of Health para yan sa resumption ng face-to-face classes. Kasama po ba yun, sir, yung inyong school sa mga nakapasaw doon sa parameters niyan? May ginagawa na po ba kayong paghanda if ever na kayo ay kasama ho dyan?
So in the division of Zamboanga del Sur, we started with 3 schools in October 15, 2021. The first approval of the limited face-to-face, and here comes expanded progressive limited face-to-face implementation. And those who submitted for the participation in this limited face-to-face, originally it was 603, but in the final, when the limited progressive face-to-face implementation last March 5, I think, we already increased, or we just had the 247 schools because there are also requirements that they need to comply. So from 3 schools in our division, 630 applied for participation and approval. And in the actual, during the first day of the limited face-to-face under progressive and expanded phase, we only had 247 who were able to comply with the requirements.
I see. Medyo nagulat ako sapagkat nakabase pala kayo dyan sa Zamboanga Peninsula. Ang layo nyo pala ngayon, ano sir? Well, pababa na po yung trend ng mga naitatalang kaso ng COVID sa ating bansa. Batay ho yan sa record ng Department of Health. Kayo ba ay optimistic? Are you optimistic? And umaasang by next school year ay magiging back to normal na ho tayo sa physical educations o sabihin natin ay face-to-face classes?
Yes po, because that's always part of my daily prayers to be back to normal. I'm always positive that we can be back to normal po, Sir Edwin.
Apo. So sa tingin nyo, Prof, may mga pag-asa bang makaranas ng physical graduation yung batch natin in this coming month, sir?
If the IATF, DepEd, and DOH allowed us to operate the limited face-to-face, as long as vaccination rate warrants, concurrence of the LGU is issued, and parents' consent is ensured as 100%, why not? So we can always have the face-to-face graduation.
Apo.
If limited face-to-face graduation can be, then just to give the schools the hope that normal face-to-face or full blast face-to-face will be allowed in the near future. That's also my dream.
Well, for me, may mga, dahil interactive broadcast po tayo, for your information, as of this very moment, doon sa ating live broadcast, may mga nagte-text. At syempre, with due courtesy doon sa kanilang pagsikumikap na mag-text at nagtatanong, may nagtatanong dito, may informasyon po ba kayo or info kung ilan ang i-allow daw na mga student para sa face-to-face, sakaling matuloy na yan talaga. Kung hindi 100%, ilan po kaya? Yan ay galing doon sa ating YouTube comment na mababasa nyo rin later on.
For the Department of Education, this is basic education, there is a parameter on the number of learners to be allowed.
Apo.
So, by grade level yan. For kindergarten, elementary, we have 12 will be allowed in one set because it is going to be by set. Because if the first set will be in limited face-to-face this week, the second set will be on modular. And then the second set will be back to the room for face-to-face. Then the first set will be modular. So that's the arrangement of classes. That is why, that is why we have this limited number of learners to be in the classroom while others will be on modular learning system.
I see.
And for senior high school, the limit is 15.
So,
Edwin?
Apo? So, ito lang sir, kasi nabanggit mo na you're from the Mindanao region, dyan sa Zamboanga. Hindi naman maitatanggi na may marami tayong mga kaibigan, mga kapatid na nasa Muslim, sa Islam faith, ano? Kailangan po ba vaccinated yung mga student na makapasok para makasama sa face-to-face kasi medyo mababa yung ating vaccination rate dyan sa part ng Mindanao Peninsula?
A vaccination of the learners is preferred but not yet mandatory.
I see. All right.
It's better to have all the learners vaccinated so that we can always secure and ensure the safety of our learners and even the safety of our teachers in the school.
All right. Naku, it's a pleasure to have you, sir. At kami ho'y nagpapasalamat malamang before the classes start. Tatawag kami uli para sa update natin sa ating mga viewers and listeners at followers dito po naman sa ating YouTube channel. Sir, nasa iyo po ang pagkakataon na kausapin ng ating mga kababayan, ng mga magulang, mga estudyante na nanonood. Baka may mensahe kayo na gustong maiparating sa amin, Sir Romy. Nasa iyo po ang pagkakataon.
Okay, Sir Edwin, thank you for this opportunity. To all the learners, teachers, parents, and other stakeholders out there, I'd just like to convey that in these trying times, all we need to do is, number one, always have the courage to dream because this moment is just temporary. Second, we should acquire the essential 21st century knowledge and skill because in this generation, anything can be learned anytime, anywhere already. Then number three, put Christ or God or Allah in anything that they do or we do because there are already events happening beyond human beings' control, and only God can be the mighty and the most powerful God who can really control all these things. He will just intensify our prayers and also care for others. And then number four, be confident that all these things will come to pass and think positive.
All right.
Trust God in everything. And then number five, have compassion and generosity to share blessings, especially those who have nothing and in need, not only for the learners, for the teachers as well.
All right, very well said, the Prof. Maraming salamat po at I'm hoping na someday, somehow, kung may mga isyong naugnay pa rin sa inyong expertise at yan po naman sa inyong, sabi nga, organization, FAFTE. Kami ho'y muling tatawag sa inyo at makikipag-ugnayan. Maraming salamat po, Doc. Romeo Daligdig, PhD, isang masaganang talakayan at sa inyong oras na ibinahagi po sa amin at pagpapaunlak. Saludo po kami sa aming magigiting na guro. Sa ngalan po yan ng aming big boss dito sa Bauer Tech Corporation, si Boss Richard Nixon Gomez. Thank you, Doc. Salamat po.
Thank you, Sir Edwin, and God bless.
Thank you, sir. Mga kaibigan, si Dr. Romeo Daligdig ng FAFTE. Sarap kausap ni Prof. Ano? Very, sabi niya nga natin, convincing yung kanyang mga sinasabi. Talaga pong bilis ng panahon, mga kaibigan. Imagine, 2 years na pala. Parang kailan lang nagsimula yung pandemic. At isa nga sa mga naapektuhan yan ay yung sektor ng edukasyon. Dahil po nawala yung face-to-face class. Lahat po tayo dito, lahat kami dito, lahat kayong nanonood probably ay naranasan nyo natin yung nananabig tayong gigising sa umaga, maliligo, papasok sa school para sa face-to-face classes. Maraming activity ang hindi natin naisagawa nung magka-pandemic. Naurong din yung school calendar. Pero dahil yung mga Pilipino po ay likas ngang mapamaraan, kahit na may nagiging problema sa gadget at internet connection, nakahanap pa rin tayo ng solusyon. Yun nga sa pamamagitan ng module learning na binanggit kanina ni Professor. At syempre, nandiyan din ang ating mga teachers na talagang nakagabay, nagbibigay ng inspirasyon at may iba't ibang konsiderasyon sa kanilang mag-aaral o estudyante. Sana po talaga ay magtuloy-tuloy na yung pagbaba ng bilang ng COVID-19 victims, tuluyan lang matapos ang pandemic nang sa gayon ay makabalik tayong lahat doon sa sinasabi nilang new normal. Alright. So mga kaibigan, babalikan natin si Miss Karen sa kanyang KSK. Karen.
Thank you so much, Kuya Ed. Kung hindi man tayo makabalik sa normal, Kuya Ed, naniniwala ako at naniniwala naman tayo na higit yung mararanasan natin sa larangan ng edukasyon pagkatapos ng pandemyang ito. Talagang maniwala lang tayo. At maraming salamat po sa mga guro na patuloy na hindi tumigil matapos ng pandemya na magturo at magbahagi ng kanilang kalaman sa ating mga estudyante na hindi mapipigilan ang pag-aaral dahil maraming paraan po ngayon, lalo na sa makabagong teknolohiya na nararanasan natin ngayon. Stay positive lang po tayo. Yan. At syempre, stay positive din tayo. Sino nga kaya ang ating lucky winner for today na nakahula po ng tamang sagot? Ang ating mystery word for today po is virtual. And congratulations to Miss Vina Romeo from Infanta, Quezon. Kayo po ang nanalo ng 1,000 pesos handog pa rin po. Walang iba ng KSK TV at ng Arthro Pro. Ang ating sagot, ang ating panggamot sa osteoarthritis. Sa mga lolo, mga lola na sumasakit ang tuhod, huwag na po nating tiisin yan at putulin na ang inyong paghihirap sa pamamagitan at sa tulong ng Arthro Pro. Mabibili nyo lamang po iyan sa lahat ng branches ng Kaibigan sa Kalusugan at maaari nyo pong bisitahin ang kanilang Facebook at KSK TGLI. Ayan. Maraming salamat po sa pagsama sa amin ngayong linggong ito. Hanggang sa mga susunod na araw po, marami pa kaming sorpresa sa inyo dito lamang sa Kwarta sa Kwentuhan with me, Ate Karen. Back to you, Kuya Ed.
Thank you, Karen. At taga Quezon pala yung nanalo. Ano pangalan, Karen, ng yung winner? Habina? Alright. So, si Bunsoy. Malalambing ang mga taga Quezon. At maraming salamat sa inyong pag-join sa atin. Well, di kami matatapos ng walang greeting. Shoutout sa ating mga daily and avid viewers, followers. Jason Leviticus, si Lucas at Luna, si Sherwin Benavente, ganyan din si Chris Pavul, George Pagdangan, at Erica May Magayon. Maraming salamat sa inyong patuloy na pagtutok at request lang ng inyong Kuya Ed, please like and share dito sa ating EdTalks. So mga kaibigan, it's a weekend. Baka kayo may mga planong weekend activities, lalo na yung mga mamamasyal, basta kayo vaccinated, yung iba mag-swimming, kaingat lang ho kayo pag weekend. At sapagkat medyo yung iba sa kasayahan ay nakakalimot at baka kayo wag naman sana ma-aksidente. Ingat lamang po. So sa ngalan po ng ating production pool, pinangungunahan po ni Direct Karen Alvarez, nandiyan din si Gab De Jesus, and of course si Michael Kalayag, at gayon din naman si Jim Jim Guanyo. Yan. So kompleto kami ngayon sa ating po namang EdTalks. At happy weekend sa mga kaibigan. Until then, harinawa ang basbas at pagpapala ng ating Panginoong may kapal ay lagi nawa pong sumaatin. Bye!